All right. How come I'm not seen over here? Oh, there we go. What if I told you that in the Balaam How funny, everybody.
Amen.
Oh, Chaim to life. And what greater life than being here this morning together with everybody. So today's the day after Lag BaOmer, yesterday being the 33rd of the Omer. And didn't get it. Sorry, yesterday didn't have the opportunity to learn. So I want to learn about a Lag BaOmer. And one of the incidences that actually in Shulchan Aruch, in the Code of Jewish Law, brings down of why we celebrate. Rabbi Akiva had 24,000 students. And there was a plague that killed off all the students, or we're not exactly clear if it was all the students but five, or it was a majority of students. And left, there isn't great clarity on that. But whatever the case may be, the plague stopped on Lag BaOmer on the 33rd day of the Omer. That's why during the uh, the Omer we don't make weddings. Um, we don't, yeah, we don't make weddings. We don't cut our hair because it's a time of mourning for Rabbi Akiva students. Now, the question is, sorry. So it's brought down that the source of the plague, as everything in this world, has a spiritual counterpart. Everything has a spiritual counterpart. Very important idea. As a matter of fact, let's stop for a moment and say, L'chaim. Aside from being thirsty, the truth is, the reason why I have a physical thirst is because I have a spiritual thirst. It reflects itself in the physical, but it's primarily a spiritual thirst. So, likewise, everything that happens in the physical world is primarily a reflection of the spiritual. So, our sages explain, and just to put into context, just because it is that way doesn't mean that we understand always what the spiritual um, ramification, interface, uh, purpose is. But we need to know that. And if we know that, then whatever engagement we go in life, whatever encounters we have, we will seek the spiritual um, counterpart to it, or the spiritual truth that's behind it. We will seek that, which is very important. And so our sages explain that what was the reason, the cause of the plague, a physical plague, that you may just say, well, just, that's what it is. No, there's something deeper behind it. And what was the cause of it is that the sages, the students of Rabbi Akiva, they did not conduct themselves with kavod. Kavod means honor, one with the other. That's what it means. Now, what does kavod mean? Interesting, the word kavod means honor, but it comes from the word kaved. which means weight, heaviness. They didn't give weight one to the other. When you say, oh, you're taking the matter lightly, meaning you're not really giving weight to it, significance to it, importance. So that's what happened. They did not give weight, importance, one to the other. And that was the inner dimension, the inner reason of why there was a plague. Now, the obvious question is, we're talking about Rabbi Akiva's students. Right? We're talking about, you know, I want to say that I consider you all my students. But we're not talking about students who come and learn for a half an hour or even 2 hours a day, which some of you do. Some of you learn with me 2 hours a day, right? We're talking about students that were, 24/7, so to speak, if you will. It wasn't literally 24/7, but in a sense, it was 24/7 that they lived with their teacher, whether literally physically, or but in spirit for sure. Um, but they were students who were like, they lived every word of Rabbi Akiva, which therefore, the question is asked, how could it be that Rabbi Akiva, the great sage, who among many things taught the Torah teachings, that you should love your fellow Jew, right? This is a great principle of the Torah. But this was not just, this was not just one of the, one of 613 commandments, which you might just look at it that way. No, this is a great principle of the Torah. Great principle. That means he taught it. It was a mainstay of his teachings. How is it possible that his students, who again lived Rabbi Akiva, didn't fulfill that? So we have to understand that love and respect are not the same thing. They're very different from each other. Love is about me loving you. It's about my feelings towards you. The center of love is me. And the other person is the object of my love. Now, as a result of that, love can be objectified. And it can be very detrimental, right? How so? We have Safta Livsha with us. So I'm a Zaidi. I'm a grandfather. And sometimes, I must say, I give a hug to my grandchild because I want to express my love to them. Is that what they need at that time? Is that what they want at that time? Not necessarily. And quite honestly, sometimes it may not be at all what they need. You know, you know. But my desire or my need, if you will, to express my love, I do that because the center of it is not the child. At times it can be that way, right? And that's why the term we smother someone with love. So um, this is exactly what they did. They smothered each other with love because they loved each other. After all, that's what Rabbi Akiva taught, the great principle of the Torah. And each student felt that they understood the teachings of Rabbi Akiva better than their fellow. And out of great love and devotion to them, they wanted to make sure that they followed the teachings in the way they understood best. What was the problem? They didn't conduct themselves with respect. It's true that love will bring you to bond and to connect with another person. But as the Rambam writes in the relationships between husband and wife, the first thing that's necessary is not love. All you need is love is incorrect. It's not even the first thing. It's the second thing. The first thing is kavod, respect. Respect means I give weight to you. I give space to you because of that. I give deference to you. You're the center, not me, when it comes to respect, when it comes to respecting another individual. I give the space to you. I give the deference to you. I give weight to you. As the word kavod again means kaved, heavy, weighted. I feel the weight of you, the value of you, the importance of you. Now, that might be in the opinion that you give, the idea that you share, and sometimes it may not be, very appropriate opinion, but I give weight to you as a person and give you your space, even though maybe the opinion, you may not agree with and feel that it's a wrong opinion. But when you give the space to the person, the respect to the individual, and even if you don't agree with them, you're not going to smother them with your idea. You're not going to, make certain that they, understand your truth, your understanding of Rabbi Akiva. You may just hear them out and maybe say nothing. Maybe. But there would be first and foremost that deference, that space that you create. And when you do that, then you'll understand, like no two faces alike, no two minds alike. So therefore, two Jews, three opinions. 24,000 Jews. Oh boy, lots of opinions. And this was the problem. Now, with this, then we can understand who came and fixed the problem. Well, the other thing that is celebrated on Lag Baimer is not just the end of the plague and the deaths of Rabbi Akiva's students, but it's Reb Shimon Bar Yochai. Reb Shimon Bar Yochai was actually one of the 5 students who Rabbi Akiva started a whole new beginning, if you will, to a whole new beginning to start Jewish life all over again. And Reb Shimon Bar Yochai was one of those students. And he passes away on Lag Baimer, and before his passing, he told to his students, don't mourn my passing. celebrate it. And he explained to them on that day great, deep ideas about mystical ideas about death, about other things of Torah. And there was a great flame, a great light that ensued. So we got to celebrate that thing. Now, what is it about Rabbi Akiva that he kind of fixed the problem? Well, Rabbi Akiva, we know, perhaps the story of the Romans who were after him and his son to kill them. Because the Romans were controlling Eretz Israel, the land of Israel at the time. So they went and hid in a cave for 12 years. You know what they did for 12 years? They studied Torah. That's all they did. They didn't have anything else. They had a stream of water that went through the cave. They had a carob tree that grew. And they subsisted somehow. After 12 years, they came out and they couldn't understand how people would be involved in what we call chayeshah, life of the moment, farming, mundane activity, and not engage in chaya olam, eternal life, which is the study of Torah. After all, that's what they did for 12 years. And whenever they saw a farmer, they kind of, as great righteous people, the gaze of the righteous brings a divine energy through them that brings either healing, brings life, or the opposite. Well, in their lack of, well, let's say empathy, perhaps. I don't know if that's the right word, but they didn't bring healing. They brought the opposite to the people around them. God said, you know what? No, you're not going to destroy things. Go back into the cave. They went back into the cave for another year. And they came out, and Reb Shimon brought healing to the farmers, to everyone through his gaze. Meaning, you have to understand what this means. Reb Shimon, there wasn't a moment that he stopped learning Torah. And for him, that's life. Torah mitzvahs, that's it. There's nothing else. But he understood, you know what? That's not the path everybody can take. And therefore, now he really understood what it means to take the weight of another and take and to make space for it. He wanted to give them the opportunity to be like him. But it's not going to happen. Few tried and were not successful. It's meant for the very, very few that they could be literally day in, day out, that's their life is study of Torah, and that's it. And coupled with mitzvahs, of course. Then no, people need to make a living. He wanted to bring them up to that level, but no, it wasn't possible. So he made the space. He had the respect that this is also a way that you can serve God. It's not as elevated. It's not as spiritually lofty, but it is meaningful. And so he did. Bring through his gaze life, healing to all those around him. So he fixed that which the previous students of Rabbi Akiva didn't. And 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 not to take this simply and say, well, how could he not? Well, he didn't because he truly wanted to bring them to a place that is a very lofty place. But they weren't, the world wasn't ready for it. So the second time coming out of the cave, he recognized that people are not ready for that lofty engagement. So he made the space. It's a total opposite of who he is, but that's real respect, is that you're able to go against everything that you understand and you know to be good, to be godly, to be divine. And to do that lovingly, to give the gaze in a loving way that brings goodness and healing to those around you who are living the complete opposites. Not that they're bad people, God forbid. I'm not talking about that. So he fixed exactly what the students were lacking previously. And on the day of passing of an individual, which is Lag B'Omer, what we celebrate, right? Again, yesterday was Lag B'Omer. So on the day of a person's passing, all the good that they have done becomes revealed. All the good became revealed. Became revealed. How beautiful that is. Became revealed, and the good that he brought healing, understanding that not everybody could be Terasa Manose, not everybody could be Torah becomes their profession, because their livelihood. And even though this is such a lofty space and place to be, he gives kavod, he gives weight, he gives significance and value to those who are not there, to such a degree that he brings healing to them. And in a sense, and again, then that comes to total fruition, total revelation on the day of his passing, Lag B'Omer. Lag B'Omer is Hoid Sheba in the counting of the Omer, of the Spheres Omer, is Hoid Sheba. It is the day of acknowledgement, which is humility of humility, that is refined on that day when we count the Omer. And that's what he becomes, who he is, the ultimate humility, the ultimate refinement of acknowledging, of acknowledgement, humility of humility. That's Rav Shimon Bar Yochai, and that's Lag B'Omer. Okay. Hey, Dr. K is asking for that we daven for Michael or Michal Ben Miriam, for Malka Bela Basrus, speedy recovery. Anybody take Israel together with the hostages and everybody else in needs. Should be gesund and well. All right. Any questions? Any comments? Okay, God willing, we're gonna do Chumash Rashi. Well, all right. We'll see you shortly, folks.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you. About 45 minutes. We'll do a commercial.